There's going to be some sleeper teams in the NBA playoffs this year. Francis said it earlier on the show. The margin last year to catch the Cavaliers was like this, and now it's like that. A little bit more.
There you go. I agree with that. And then whereas you go in the Western Conference, and I'd say, I was gonna say there's
like three.
It's like right here, and then it's like woo, clips.
Clips. No, they're gonna actually, I thought for a second for about a week that the Clippers would be upset by the Jazz. Except surprisingly, where the Jazz are very good at beating very good teams, the Clippers aren't one of them. Actually, the Jazz haven't figured out the Clippers. The Clippers want that series, if I'm the Clippers, and they get swept by the Warriors, but that's all good and done, because they'd be playing. It's weird because the Jazz are the team that for some reason couldn't beat the Clippers this year, and the Clippers can't beat the Warriors since the Clippers beat the Warriors 4 years ago. Yeah. They're like 11-0 against the Clippers, the Dubs are. So let's start with the bracket as it looks today, even though this goes up Sunday, so I guess we're fake news. The Cavs would play the Pacers, but that could easily change because the Heat are right there as well, and I'm missing one other team, but we'll get to the standings later. The Wizards would play the Hawks in a matchup where the Wizard would obviously destroy the Hawk. And let's be real, they have longer range. This, and I mean like, and not in actual basketball terms, I mean like actual Dumbledores versus actual bald eagles.
We talk about this quite a lot. This is we need to actually have a game of the real life, like, namesakes playing against each other. I want to see a lightning bolt. Oh, sorry, not a bolt. Is it a bolt of thunder? No, I want to see some thunder. I want to see some thunder taking on a rocket. Yeah, what happens? A rocket goes head to head with some thunder.
With some thunder, the rocket pierces the thunder.
Absolutely. Okay, smart ass. What about if a bull goes head to head with a leprechaun?
I mean, the poor blood-trampled leprechaun. I mean, not in real life. The Celtics should handle the Bulls no problem.
No, Leprechaun wins. He's lucky as shit.
Look, luck can only get you so far before you get trampled by a stampede, man.
And he's super lucky. Have you ever seen a bull? They're erratic in their movement. All you have to do is like be in like a certain part of the field or whatever. Like you're good. He's lucky. I'm telling you, the leprechaun wins.
Yeah, I'm actually with Chikori on this one. I think the leprechaun. And there was that video that was just released recently of bulls just running in and out of people because they weren't provoked.
You're kind of a leprechaun. Let's have you fight a bull. See what happens.
Racist.
Raptor versus buck. That's not even fair.
Nah, that poor buck is getting
Look at the size of the antlers, though. You know?
No, it's a raptor,
They can't even compete against lions, and you're expecting a
same size as the yeah. No.
All right, I'll go with the Raptors.
They're like the starter meal for everyone in the wild, and you're expecting them to compete with
the Warrior. The Warrior beats the Trailblazer, as nice as the Blazer, blazing his own path is not getting you too far.
A very confusing one: Jazz versus Clippers.
Yeah, they kind of go. Say. I mean, Jazz on a boat. Kind of.
Is that like barbers? Is this just like a ferocious pack of barbers? The Clippers.
The Clippers. Actually, that's really funny. A ferocious pack of LA barbers.
Versus that's like a sick jazz band.
That's a fun group of people, though. I love the barbershops in LA.
Yeah, the Clippers versus
very
Jazz
knowledgeable
might be a fun party.
That's a good trash talking group of people. The Clippers actually refer to like it's a ship.
Or it could be a long-haired jazz musicians versus
a pair of hair
clippers that want to clip off that hippie hair. Dude.
Yeah, that could be true, but again, the problem is it refers to a boat, so it's more like a riverboat gambling trip with some jazz music. Spurs versus Grizzlies. While the back heel of a cowboy might hurt,
ooh,
I think that bear right there is a little menacing.
Because like you can't even really wield a spur that well. Like how are you gonna back heel kick a bear that many times?
Yeah, and it's not like they're the Cowboys. Like they're just the spur. They're only one part of the boot.
Bears are killing machines. Watch the Reverend.
Revenant.
The Revenant. I agree.
Yes.
And the Rocket beats the Thunder.
Nah, man. Nah, a well-placed Thunder will shut down a Rocket.
A well-placed Thunder.
I know, but like that can't just like throw off. I feel like I could throw off some sensors, like really loud thunder.
Oh, you know, Jacory's way smarter than both of us are, Francis.
What if it's accompanied by lightning?
NBA standings in themselves, even though. So I want to talk about a couple sleeper teams in actuality, though. Go to the NBA race in the East because that's a little bit more interesting. I think the Hornets are almost mathematically, by Sunday they are mathematically eliminated unless the Pacers drop No, I think the Hornets are out. The Heat aren't necessarily though. They're only half a game behind. So that Pacers and Heat could flop with each other, and the Bulls and the Bucks and the Hawks. Like the Hawks could be the 8th seed or out of the playoffs tomorrow, while the Heat are the 5. Believe it or not, that could happen. The Bucks are the team to watch though, because the Bucks have been one of the best teams in the NBA since January.
Yeah.
They got Chris Middleton back, so their floor spacing has been much better. They're able to get another good 3-point shooter out of Chris Middleton, a good scorer out of Chris Middleton, another lengthy player out of healthy Chris Middleton. In addition to that, what Giannis Antetokounmpo is doing in his 4th season with the Bucks is remarkable. On top of averaging roughly 23, 8, and 5.
Yeah.
He's got 1.9 blocks to show for it a game and 1.7 steals to show for it a game. And there is no videotape that correctly could ever explain how you guard a point guard with a wingspan through the roof. There's no tape on it. He's down in the post recently, and there's 3 guys on him, and he somehow shifts his weird frame to the left and just reaches up and dunks it because he doesn't even have to, like, it's just a weird.
He's not fair.
It makes no sense.
It's not fair.
So I think the sleeper team in the East is the Bucks, and if they get a Raptors matchup, I would like to see the Raptors win. Don't get me wrong, but the Bucks are hot.
Yeah.
The good news is the Raptors got Kyle Lowry back, and Kyle Lowry in his first game back looked excellent in his first game back. So I was happy to see everyone getting healthy for the playoffs.
Can we? Can I have the backup the standings once more time just before
the East standings?
Just before we go back to the fact that we're trying to compete between.
Do you want the Heat in there as a sleeper team to beat the Cavs?
No, I don't think the Heat can beat the
Hornets.
Cavs.
The Hornets would probably lose to the Heat based off how hot are we talking?
I don't see the East posing as many upsets as I do the West. I think that once again we'll set forth on this tale of the Rockets and how they look good under James Harden. I just think that it's set up for a very similar turn of events from what we seen with the Clippers a few years back. Where the Clippers looked great and then they fell to the Rockets that season.
You think the Rockets are done?
I don't know.
So woke though.
Do you use woke in a basketball term?
Yeah.
Like, they're just like sharing knowledge
They
to each
score
other.
like 140 points a game. That's the most woke team in the NBA.
That's not woke, man.
It's close enough.
That's good.
Not
That's
asleep.
athletic. They're not,
We're talking about sleep.
okay, true. I agree. Just on the term, yes,
Just
they're
on
awake.
I mean, on defense.
They're not
they are.
running around sleeping. They are awake. They're on Red
Woke.
Bull.
You're using it wrong. Woke.
They're awakened.
They're awakened.
They're woke.
They're awakening.
They're awoken. So yeah, but I just fear that this may be a year where the Rockets fall to the sword of which they delivered the blow a couple of years back to the Clippers. I feel like they might underestimate maybe a team in the 7 or 8.
The Cavs and the Warriors are the only 2 teams whose team names probably even wield a sword.
Interesting. Cavaliers, Warriors. Warriors, what would they more use though? The Warriors
Maybe
would use
warrior. I mean, like
they use any sort of
spears,
weapon. Yeah, spears. I was going to suggest.
loincloths.
What?
Think about it. I'm thinking like warriors of like olden days, like the Aztecs. Those guys were nuts.
Oh, okay. They use spears. Warriors in my day. My warrior, William Wallace, was a warrior.
Pandax?
He got he used a sword and he used an axe, but he also was intelligent enough to have those part of the Scottish Army make massive spears that were like almost 5 to 6 feet longer than any of the English, so that they could divert the horses before the horses trampled them.
Oh, right. So on that note, because I have something very, retrospect is, hindsight is 20/20, right?
Yep.
Because we look back on those days of war and we're like, why wouldn't you hide behind a tree? For honor, it's like, no, they got bullets, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide behind the tree. They're shooting arrows at me. I don't want to die honorably by getting speared 63 times because I'm standing there without a shield being like playing the drums. Ow! Ow!
There's just no way. I don't know, man. You just got to be. I've always watching these movies, especially as it went forward. Like the same sort of balls was needed from the early days of Troy when you're running face first into arrows, to like movies like Fury where you're the first guy in the tank and you're on the marching line and you're taking the bullets first. What makes you want to be the guy that's at the front? You're always going to take the first bullet.
No, I'm going in the tank. You kidding me?
No, in the tank as well, though. You can
It's a target. It's a big target, but it's strong,
I'm
man.
sitting in the back. I'm sniping.
Sniping? I'm sniping.
I'm sniping.
But all right, we got to get to the Western Conference before we have to get out of the studio, before we lose our minds. The Western Conference. Is this someone's birthday? What's going on?
Who?
It's JR's 15th anniversary
nice.
of him being part of the Young Turks.
Thanks, JR Jackson.
Yes, we're celebrating it as we are recording this sports segment.
Hey, congrats,
Nice.
JR.
Congrats,
Do I get my
JR.
4-year anniversary in May? Probably not. All right, we'll go to the Western Conference and we'll get the hell out of here so I can go congratulate JR by saying, I loved when you were at UCLA. USC. So, sleeper teams in the West. I would like to think you're not Ja'Cory. You're not Ja'Cory. What'd you do to him?
Gryffindor, what the hell just happened?
Ja'Cory just got very white. It's pretty amazing. Can we go back to
Ja'Cory
that?
had to get some cupcakes.
Oh, there's cupcakes?
Oh, there's cupcakes. That's amazing. What a day at the studio. So here's the thing, right? The Trailblazers would be the most fun sleeper team. But I actually believe even if CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard shot 80%, they wouldn't beat the Warriors in a series. The Grizzlies have been here before, Francis, but they have to go against the Spurs at this point. But they've been here. You know, Conley's playing very well. Zach Randolph's been around the block. Marc Gasol is a fantastic all-NBA first, second, or third team player this year. But you gotta try to go up against that always never solved puzzle that is Greg Popovich's offense and defensive schematics.
Yeah, and last year I think they've got a little bit between their teeth after last year. Last year they're not happy with the way things panned out. They had one of the most
the Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs. They had one of the most successful season. I think they had their most successful season to date.
If it wasn't for the Warriors, we'd be like, holy shit, the
What a
Spurs are
season.
having one of the best seasons in NBA history.
And they
season.
fell short again. And I don't think that they, again, as we mentioned, I think the gap in the Western Conference has got a little bit closer now as well. The Warriors look great. There's no doubt about that. When they're on form, they look great. The Spurs also look good. I think the Spurs, though, are just slowly, they're always going to be considered a team that is underestimated despite how many world-class talent they have. They literally are represented by Kawhi Leonard. It's a very similar point of view.
They held the keys.
Yeah,
to the
so
Kawhi.
I actually fancy the Spurs to do very well this year. I think that there could be a great chance that the Spurs take the Warriors to seven games. Whether or not it goes one way or the other, I just don't see them slipping up. But I do think there could be a couple of upsets. I'm always rooting for the Trailblazers. I like Damian Lillard. I felt bad for them because I thought they were really creating something with Damian Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge. They got stripped of that. It seemed to be a problem. Rip City was jumping at one point, and now they're just, again, that mid team in the pack that's just there to be, unfortunately, taken. So we'll see.
The Blazers-Warriors last year was like one of the most fun 5-game series. It was not even close.
And the Warriors, OKC last year was fun as well. Usually you'll get good games, fun games with Golden State Warriors.
Hey guys, can I make a super duper quick prediction?
Yep.
LA Clippers will not make it past the first round.
I don't think
That's what I'm saying. With the problem with that is like they're good against the Jazz, but they will get demolished by anybody else. I think too. I think there's a better bet. If you can make the bet, I think there's a more likely chance that the Clippers lose in the first round than it is that they make the Western Conference Finals. I think that they're not that good.
Well, you know, they'll have a bad news Bears situation. And not only that, they've never made it past the first round. And as a Lakers fan, I love it.
They never made it out of the second round.
Second round, first round, it's all the same. They never made it past that.
They never made it to the conference finals, which is a travesty, a tragedy. A tragedy. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe. I'm going to go edit these so I can go home and drink because it's Friday.
Yay!